Get ready to be mesmerized by the slithering wonders of the serpent world. From jaw-dropping abilities to mind-boggling behaviors, snakes are full of surprises that will leave you in awe. Buckle up as we unravel 8 amazing and yet shocking facts about these fascinating reptiles that will make your skin crawl in the best way possible. Snakes are carnivorous, meaning they eat other animals. To do that, they need some seriously strong and sharp teeth for grabbing and gulping down their prey. But what happens when they lose a tooth? No worries there. Snakes have an amazing ability to grow new ones throughout their lives. Unlike humans, who have just 2 sets of teeth, snakes have an ongoing supply. They have several rows of teeth, and behind each tooth is a successor waiting to replace it. This means if a snake loses a tooth, there's already another one ready to take its place. This ensures they're never without the necessary tools to feed efficiently. This super cool regenerative power helps snakes stay on top of their game. Because in the wild, losing the ability to eat properly can mean the difference between survival and starvation. Ever looked at a snake and wondered, why on earth does it have a forked tongue? Well, snakes have forked tongues for a really important reason: to smell and hunt. Yep, that's right. They use their tongues to smell. When a snake flicks its tongue in and out, it's collecting tiny particles from the air. These particles are then delivered to a special organ in the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ. This is like a super snake version of smelling. Now, the forked part is extra cool. It helps them figure out where the smell is coming from. Each fork of the tongue picks up different amounts of scent particles. So if there are more particles on the right fork, the snake knows its snack is to the right. It's like their own built-in GPS for finding food. Did you know some snakes can reproduce without a mate? This amazing process is known as parthenogenesis. It's a Greek word that means virgin creation, and it perfectly describes what happens. In parthenogenesis, a female snake can produce offspring without any genetic contribution from a male. This isn't about laying unfertilized eggs like some birds or insects do. These snake babies have full sets of genes. One of the most famous snakes that can do this is the boa constrictor, but it's also been observed in some species of pit vipers and pythons. These snake moms carry out the entire reproductive process on their own, resulting in little snakelets that are essentially clones of the mother. Why does this happen? Scientists believe it might be a natural backup plan for when males are scarce or in isolated environments. It ensures that these snakes can still pass on their genes and keep the population going, even when times are tough. Ever wondered why snakes shed their skin? It's not just a slick makeover, it's a snaky secret to growth and health. Picture this: a snake, much like a superhero shedding an old costume, outgrows its skin. But it's not just about size. Shedding helps them ditch parasites, scars, and even old eye scales. Beneath the surface, a snake's skin isn't stretchy, so when they've had their fill of growth and adventures, it's time for a shiny, new layer. The shedding process, called ecdysis, begins with a clear scale over their eyes. As they slither out, the old skin peels off inside out, leaving the snake refreshed and ready for the next chapter. Snakes, with their cool, slithery charm, are quite different from your cuddly pets. They don't bond with humans the way dogs or cats do. Snakes primarily operate on instinct and don't have the same social brain structures as mammals. This means they don't experience emotions like affection in the way we understand them. However, they can recognize their human caretakers. Some snake owners say their pets learn to recognize them and seem more relaxed and comfortable when handled regularly. Some might tolerate handling and even seem curious about humans, while others prefer to be left alone. They may not cuddle or show affection, but in their own unique way, they can form a kind of recognition-based relationship with humans. Not all snakes lay eggs? That's right, some snakes give live birth. Most snakes are oviparous, meaning they lay eggs. These eggs then hatch outside the mother's body. These eggs are often hidden away in warm, moist areas to keep them safe and to provide the right temperature for the embryos to develop. However, some snakes are viviparous, which means they give birth to live young. This can be a huge advantage in colder regions where eggs might not survive. A famous example is the boa constrictor, which carries its eggs inside her body until they're ready to hatch. When the young are born, they emerge as fully developed mini snakes, ready to slither off into the world. What is a pit organ? These are tiny but mighty sensory holes located on the faces of some snakes, right between the eye and the nostril on either side of their head. These aren't just for show, they're heat sensors that can detect tiny changes in temperature around them. Now, which snakes have this awesome feature? Well-known examples include the rattlesnakes. These pit organs allow them to be ultimate hunters, especially in the dark. They can literally see the warmth of living creatures nearby, which means they can strike their prey with incredible precision, even without good vision. Whether it's a cool evening or a pitch-dark night, snakes like the pit viper or the boa constrictor can sense their next meal from a distance thanks to these pit organs. Ever heard about snakes with two heads? Yes, it's a real thing. Picture this. A snake slithers by, but it has two heads, each looking in different directions. Sounds like something out of a myth, right? But it's true. This rare condition is called bicephaly, and it happens when an embryo begins to split into twins but stops partway, leaving the developing snake with two heads instead of one. Now you might wonder, does having two heads give a snake a survival advantage? Interestingly, it's quite the opposite. Two-headed snakes can have a hard time deciding which way to go, especially if each head wants to move in a different direction. Also, these snakes often struggle with eating because both heads might try to eat the same piece of food, leading to conflicts. Despite these challenges, two-headed snakes are a big deal in the world of science because they offer valuable insights into the development and genetics of reptiles. And guess what? They can be found in captivity, where they are cared for by experts who help them navigate their unique lives.